Parliamentarians are expressing various views on whether Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and the government holds a majority in Parliament at the moment. Let's take a look at the Constitution. There are two ways in which a Prime Minister can be appointed in our country. The first method is that the President can appoint a parliamentarian whom he feels commands the majority of the Parliament as a Prime Minister. The second method to appoint the Prime Minister is through the people's vote, that is through the parliamentary election. Now, in the case of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, it was President Gotabaya Rajapaksa who appointed him as the Prime Minister. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, which backed the President into power, they form the government, their main party in the government. They held their first meeting today after Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe took oaths this week. Now, more than 100 MPs took part in this meeting, and the SLPP, what they have said so far is that they recognize Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Prime Minister and that they have decided to support him. However, contradictory views are being expressed by parliamentarians on the legitimacy of the Prime Minister's appointment and whether the government has a majority in Parliament as well. Now, there are two ways in which the Prime Minister can show that he commands the majority in Parliament. Now, next week's parliamentary sittings are going to be crucial for this reason. Now, Ranil Wickremesinghe has become a Prime Minister from a party that holds only one seat in Parliament, that is the United National Party. He must prove that he has a majority. Now, during next week's parliamentary sitting, the government can either go for a vote and show that the Prime Minister has a majority, or else the opposition can request the Speaker to conduct a vote and to show that the Prime Minister has the majority or that he commands the confidence in Parliament. Now, let's not forget that the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna came to power by criticizing the mistakes committed by Ranil Wickremesinghe when he was Prime Minister during the previous government. Therefore, this vote is going to be very crucial to decide what their stance is. Now, the second question is whether the government holds a majority in Parliament at the moment. There's going to be a very interesting vote that is expected to take place next week. Now, the post of Deputy Speaker remains vacant at present, and usually under parliamentary standing orders, the procedure is that the vote for the post of Deputy Speaker must be held at the first parliamentary sitting since the post becomes vacant. So it would be interesting to see how this vote takes place, because if the government puts forward a nominee, the opposition is expected to put forward another nominee from their side, and then a vote will be held to elect the post of Deputy Speaker. And this is going to be crucial in determining whether the government holds a majority in Parliament. However, if we go back in past, things have worked out differently in the past. Now, we might recall that on the 19th of December 2001, there was a time where Parliament did not have a Deputy Speaker. However, Ranil Wickremesinghe at that time struck up deals between the parties to ensure that parliamentary sessions continued without a Deputy Speaker being appointed. It is the same individual who is the Prime Minister at the moment as well, which means that there is a strong likelihood that this can happen. However, we are not sure as to what will happen at next week's parliamentary sittings, and that is why next week's parliamentary sittings are going to be crucial. Either way, the vote to show that the Prime Minister commands the confidence of the Parliament and the vote for the post of Deputy Speaker is going to be the litmus test that sort of exposes the true stance of the parliamentarians who can be seen expressing various remarks across the country to the media.